these stock straight lines in the rain for you. Every program painstakingly edited and handed to you. Breathe and notice and know that you are loved here. I invite you to open your eyes, turn to your classmates, and appreciate this incredible moment, this threshold you have arrived at together. Give them an appreciative little wave and breathe and notice and know that you are loved here. I invite you to turn behind you to your family and friends. See them back there? And on Facebook Live. Give thanks for every text and call and visit, tuition payment and change diaper. Give them a little hoot or holler. Breathe and notice and know that you are loved here. I invite you to turn again and notice your faculty and your staff and your admin in front and around you. Ponder every lecture and lab, counseling session and form filled out, often quite overdue, every office hour, paper comment, and cup of coffee. Give them a little thumbs up. Breathe and notice and know that you are loved here. I invite you to close your eyes again. Ponder those not able to be with us. Know how proud they are of you across miles and borders and generations. Ponder all the love they have poured into you. Breathe and notice and know that you are loved here. The world is a lot, and it is time. It awaits you with all its beauty and all its mess, all its grief and joy, and this beginning, this commencement has been quietly forming in you for years of growth and learning, friendship and connection, challenge and overcoming. And as you prepare to commence, we pray that you might take it with you. The love and promise of this joyous and imperfect place, trusting that life can yet be kinder, greener, more connected, and more just, and knowing that we've work to do. Breathing, noticing, knowing that you are loved, here and everywhere. May it be so. Amen. I invite you to rise for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good morning, everyone. I am John Brovman, president of Bucknell University, and I am more than thrilled to welcome you to our non-reigning commencement ceremony for the great class, the truly great class of 2025 and our master's degree candidates. Today is a well-earned culmination of years and years of dedication and hard work for the 939 students seated in front of me today. It is also a joyous celebration for the families and dear friends who travel to share this special moment with us. Your love and encouragement made this day possible for our graduates. We are grateful for your partnership and for your trust in Bucknell. And to parents especially, as I always want to say, thank you for entrusting us with your most precious treasure, your child. And it is the best day of the academic year for our faculty and staff who are so deeply committed to our students' success and who supported them every step of the way. Many, many thanks. I think you all can sit down. I also wish to recognize the members of our Board of Trustees and Emeritus Board who have joined us today. Thank you for your leadership and counsel and for your deep belief in this university and its mission. And making the day even more special, this is the 175th commencement ceremony at Bucknell University. How fortunate we are to follow in the footsteps of so many generations of Bucknellians before us. It is a deep honor and privilege to carry their legacy forward into the future. We have so much to celebrate today, so I'll keep my comments brief and to just 3 thoughts. First, you're going to forget a lot of what you learned here. Those might be surprising words from a university president, but hear me out. Over time, it happens to all of us. You probably do not remember, and perhaps you don't want to remember, the details of your middle school social studies papers. I know I don't, but that's the point of a famous saying. Education is what you have left behind when you've forgotten everything you've learned. You don't remember what you wrote about, but you started learning how to write. And our faculty picked that challenge up and brought you to this day. Education is not the memorization of facts. It is nothing less than the rewiring of your mind. It is changes to your intellect, your mindset, and the very way you will meet the world. Your professors taught you how to think critically and make connections across disciplines, how to spark your creativity and collaborate effectively, how to consider different perspectives and follow your curiosity and your passion. All of that will, in fact, remain with you forever. Second, remember that Bucknell can be your anchor and your guide. You are entering a world that is filled with uncertainty. And as you start adulting in earnest, you will likely encounter challenges that go beyond what many other graduates have faced. But based on what I know about the class of 2025, you'll not only be okay, you are going to thrive. You persisted and adapted during and after the COVID pandemic. You have supported each other during a period of political complexity at home and abroad, and all the while pursuing your degree, forging friendships and making memories, including those of today, to last forever. So I believe you are more than well prepared to continue navigating challenges and embracing opportunities, whatever life brings you and whatever you bring to it. After you leave campus, keep learning and be confident in your abilities, just like we were when we admitted you. And as you take your next steps, be sure to connect with our network of alumni, over 56,000 of them eager to help you. And finally, I urge you to live every day deliberately. Several of you have commented to me that you can't believe how fast the last 4 years have gone. Come September, it'll be 50 years since I entered my freshman year, so believe me, I can't understand how that's happened either. And the parents here today likely feel like they just dropped you off, not to Bucknell, but to your first day of kindergarten. Think about this. A person who lives to 80, and many of you will live decades beyond that, a person at 80 has lived about 4,000 weeks. You've already lived 1,000 weeks. My question to you is simple. What are you going to do with the next 3,000 and 4,000 weeks of your life? So think carefully about how you're going to make an impact on the world and make those weeks count. Now, that doesn't mean you have to discover a new element or conduct an orchestra or be elected to Congress, although those are great goals. It means being intentional about applying your talents, your interests, and knowledge to make a difference every day that you can, wherever you are, from your smallest community groups and families to the largest companies, government offices, and organizations. It means not going through life on autopilot. I can't promise you that this approach will stop the years from flying by, but you'll be more likely to feel fulfilled and less likely to look back and wonder what I was doing. Congratulations, and Ray Bucknell! It is now my great pleasure to introduce someone who values education and has lived her life very deliberately, using her talents to make the world a better place. She is a very special friend of Bucknell and a dear, dear friend of mine. Doris Malasardi is a philanthropic leader and longtime supporter of the university, who is known for her deep commitment to our students, both current and in the future, including the great-grandchildren of people not yet born. She and her late husband, Robert Malasardi, a member of the class of 1945, understood the transformative power of education as well as the importance of access for students of all backgrounds. Doris and Bob have contributed over $30 million to support financial aid, which in turn, with a matching program, became over $75 million in permanent and growing endowment in matching gifts by other Bucknell alumni, family, and friends. In their honor, this quad in 2016 was renamed Malasardi Quad, where you sit today, and where today I have the very special privilege to present Doris with the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters. Nominees for this distinction are reviewed and approved first by a faculty committee on honorary degrees, with final approval is then bestowed by our Board of Trustees. Doris, your vision, your generosity, and your loyalty to Bucknell are truly inspirational, as was that of your beloved Bob. Would you please join me at the podium? I will now read the formal citation. Whereas Doris Fisher Malasardi, S45, models the intellect, loyalty, and care for community that Bucknell University endeavors to cultivate in all its students. And whereas, as a champion of access to education, she and her beloved late husband, Robert Malasardi, class of 45, parent 75, parent 79, parent 87, grandparent 08, have exemplified leadership and selflessness through the generous support of financial aid for Bucknell students with need. And whereas, as a dedicated philanthropist and volunteer, she has supported numerous nonprofit organizations, particularly those in the arts, which further the ideals of culture and beauty and are woven throughout Bucknell's liberal arts-based education. Therefore, Bucknell University is proud to bestow upon Doris Fisher Malasardi the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, which reads as follows. Be it known that in recognition of her distinguished achievements, which exemplify the intellect, character, and creativity most cherished by this university, we therefore, by the authority committed to us by the Board of Trustees and by the faculty of the university, hereby confer upon Doris Fisher Malasardi the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters. It is now my honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Jessica Livingston, a member of the great class of 1993. Ms. Livingston has blazed a remarkable trail in Silicon Valley. She is one of its most successful investors and is known for her ability to identify and nurture groundbreaking entrepreneurs. In 2005, she co-founded Y Combinator, the Valley's premier startup incubator. Clients of Y Combinator include industry-defining companies such as Airbnb, Coinbase, DoorDash, Reddit, Stripe, and Dropbox. While at Y Combinator, Ms. Livingston established Startup School, an annual conference for aspiring founders that has become a cornerstone event in the entrepreneurial world. It has hosted business leaders such as Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Steve Wozniak, and Sam Altman. Her sharp intuition and extensive experience have earned her the nickname the Social Radar among her peers. In fact, she co-hosts a popular podcast now called The Social Radar. And she is also the author of Founders at Work, a collection of interviews with startup pioneers. But most fascinating and important of all in this day and time, in this moment, is the fact that Miss Livingston majored in English here at Bucknell and went on to become one of the most influential entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley. Her creativity, innovation, and leadership are qualities we seek to nurture in all of our students, and it is hard to think of a better example of the enduring versatility of a foundation in the liberal arts, especially at a place like Bucknell. We are so proud to call Ms. Livingston a Bucknellian and honored to hear her address the class of 2025. Please welcome Jessica Livingston.
Thank you, President Brogman, and congratulations, Doris. And thank you to the Bucknell trustees, faculty, parents, and of course the class of 2025. It's amazing to be back on campus and such an honor to be with you here on such a momentous day. 32 years ago, I was sitting where you are now. At least I assume I was. I can't really remember anything about my own graduation. I was too hungover. The main thing I remember from that time in my life is that I had no plan. I had a degree in English, no job, and no idea what I even wanted to do. I would have liked to work hard on something I don't know if I'm gonna keep my hat on. I think it's a liability. So I would have liked to work hard on something that I cared about, but I didn't have anything that I cared about. And it took me a decade to find one. Maybe I can help you do that faster. Maybe I can help you figure out what to work on. You fall into 3 groups. Some of you already have all kinds of ambitious plans. You're already admitted to med school for the fall or whatever. Others of you have no ambitious plans and no desire to have any. You just want to have a happy life, and that's cool. But in the middle, there's a group who wish they had ambitious plans, but don't. This speech is for you. I'm going to tell you how to get ambitious plans. The first step is to realize that the subway stops here. Up to this point in life, most of you have been rolling on train tracks. Elementary school, middle school, high school, college. It was always clear what the next stop was. In the process, you've been trained to believe something that's not true. That all of life is train tracks. And there are some jobs where you can make it stay like train tracks if you want, but really, today's the last stop. And this fact is so terrifying that a lot of people try to remain in denial about it. I know I certainly did. But it's also exciting. You can go in any direction now. I didn't realize that, so I looked for more tracks. I looked for a job at a big, well-known company that I hoped would train me to do something, but I didn't know or care what really, just so long as I was on some new set of tracks. The fall after graduation, I was on the night shift at Fidelity Investments Customer Service, answering people's questions about why the value of their mutual fund went down. This wasn't fun or interesting to me, so why'd I do it? 2 reasons. I didn't know any better, and I didn't think I had any particular aptitude for any kind of work. So I was delighted that anyone would pay me to do anything. So I'm going to tell you about a trick you can pull right here at the point where the train tracks end. You can reinvent yourself. I wish I'd known I could do that. I was lazy in college and got bad grades, but the real problem was that I believed them. I believed that mediocre grades meant I was a mediocre person, and that stuck with me for years. I'm sure most of you have done much better in school than I did, but maybe there are some of you who are feeling a little unsure of yourself. But here's the thing. You don't have to tell people that. They don't know. So if you want to, you can just decide to shift gears at this point, and no one's going to tell you you can't. You can just decide to be more curious or more responsible or more energetic, and no one's going to look up your college grades and say, hey, wait a minute, this person's supposed to be a slacker. If I'd known then what I know now, I'd have realized that there are many different kinds of jobs you can get after college, some much more interesting than others. And if I'd known I could be more ambitious, I would have tried to get one of the more interesting ones. The truth is, there are thousands of different places you could go to work, and you have to consider them all and figure out which one is best. But that sounds impossible, right? You only had to choose between 60 different majors, and now you have to choose between thousands of different jobs? How do you even do that? The first step is to acknowledge that you have to. You can't just drift into the open mouth of Fidelity like I did. Okay, then what? How do you search through thousands of options? To be honest, you can't. You have to use some kind of trick for narrowing down the search space. My favorite trick is people. Talk to people. Get introduced to new people. Find the people that you think are interesting, and then ask what they're working on. And if you find yourself working at a place where you don't like the people, get out. That was how I finally figured out what to work on. I found the startup people, and I realized that startups were what I was interested in. Once I did, I got more ambitious. I decided to write a book about startups, and having my own project made me even more ambitious. finally I was working on something of my own. I loved it. But most people I told about the project didn't get it. I wasn't an author or a startup person. How could I be writing a book about startups? Which leads me to my final point about getting ambitious plans. You have to be immune to rejection. People are going to dismiss you at first, and if that's enough to stop you, you're doomed. So you have to learn to ignore it, and that's harder than it sounds. Social pressure is so powerful. But everyone who does ambitious things has to learn how to resist it. If you have ambitious plans, a lot of people will be skeptical. You'll seem like you're getting above yourself, except perhaps to your parents. By the way, parents, if your kid tells you they're starting a startup, please remember that. Made my joke at the wrong time. And even they will usually be too conservative. So remember that if they start a startup. Plus, most ambitious ideas seem wrong at first. If an idea was obviously good, someone else would have already done it. When we started Y Combinator, everyone treated it as a joke. I mean, we were funding kids right out of college and only giving them small amounts of money. How could these startups ever succeed? Now everyone knows it's a good idea to fund young founders, but 20 years ago, it just seemed lame. But we didn't care what people thought of us. We knew we were onto something. And in fact, it was good that we seemed lame because it took people, several years before they started to copy us. I'll admit I wasn't then as immune to rejection as I've become now. It's something I've learned from lots of practice, but I've gotten good at it now. So I'm proof that you can learn not to care what other people think. Now I have some good news. I'm almost done. I hate long speeches, and I bet you do too. And if you can remember what I've told you so far, that will be enough. So let me remind you what I've told you. You've been able to go through life so far without steering much. If you want to, you can become more ambitious now, but you have to start steering. You can't just drift. There's a huge number of options, and you have to actively figure out which is best for you. And the best way to do that is people. Find the interesting people. Congratulations, class of 2025. Thank you.
Jessica, thank you for reminding us that failure can be a great teacher, indeed. Wonderful. Well, I now welcome Bucknell University Provost Wendy Sternberg to the podium. This is the first Bucknell commencement for Provost Sternberg, who will present our teaching awards. Wendy?
Thank you, President Brovman. On behalf of your faculty and your college deans, I offer the class of 2025 my warmest congratulations on your graduation from Bucknell. In 4 years, you have transformed from high school graduates to sophisticated communicators and critical thinkers. You are curious and creative, analytical and ambitious. It has truly been a privilege to be part of your intellectual journey. In recognition of some of the faculty members who guided you on that journey, it is now my pleasure to present this year's Teaching Awards, which honor professors for outstanding service as teacher scholars. When I announce the awards, I'll ask the honorees to please stand to be recognized. The William Pierce Boger Jr. MD Award for Excellence in Teaching in the Natural Sciences goes to Michael Kraut, Associate Professor of Chemistry. We award the Class of 1956 Lectureship for Inspirational Teaching to Simone Forche, Professor of History. The Christian R. and Mary F. Lindback Teaching Award for Distinguished Teaching goes to Jimmy Chen, Associate Professor of Analytics and Operations Management. We have 2 presidential awards for teaching excellence to announce. The first recipient is Eric Kennedy, Professor of Biomedical Engineering. And the second honoree is Peter McNamara, Professor of Mathematics. And finally, we are pleased to present the Writing Across the Curriculum Award of Excellence to Katie Hayes, Associate Professor of Creative Writing. Congratulations, and thank you all for your wonderful dedication to our students. It is now my pleasure to invite my colleague, Professor Alan Cheville, Secretary of the Faculty, to present the class.
The candidates for degrees will please rise. President Brovman, on behalf of the faculty, I have the honor of presenting to you candidates for degrees. These degrees will be conferred at a later date upon verification that degree requirements have been completed.
Upon recommendation of the faculty, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and by the Board of Trustees of Bucknell University, and subject to your completion of the requirements, I hereby confer upon you the appropriate degree, admitting to you all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities which throughout the world pertain to that degree, in testimony whereof you will receive a diploma of the university. Congratulations.
Candidates for degrees, you may be seated.
Mr. President, I have the pleasure of presenting candidates for bachelor's degrees from the College of Arts and Sciences, 572 in number. Daniela Elizabeth Akosela. Tosin Adebayo. Harry Eric Afzelius. Ava Nicole Aguilar. Christopher Aidan Ahern. Christine Olabise Ajao. Pepalo Lua Roland Ajay. Kristen Sungming An. Arjun Raj Anand. Erica Maria Angel. Joseph Gerhard Antner. Benjamin Wynn Armas. Thomas Anthony Armstrong. In absentia. Grace Lane Areola. Ramon Antonio Asuncion Batista. Theodore Joseph Atanasio. Andrew Eric Augustine. Bryce K. Babcock. Sophia Rani Bajaj. Jad Baki. John Cameron Barnes. Joshua Livingston Bosco. Juliet Alexa Basso. Coy Gerald Bastian. Ginger Rose Baxter. Riley Pearl Bazar. Rebecca Ann Beneroff. Adam Reed Berner. Gabriella Grace Besessi. Matthew Henry Blair. Nicole Catherine Bloom. Ailsa Vivian Boger. Samuel Coleman Bookbinder V. Elizabeth R. Bosco. Paul Andrew Bauer. Nicholas Harmon Boyd. Henry Alexander Francis Boyle. Demi Schuyler Bransfield. Miles Carlson Brenius. Anna Rose Brown. Catherine June Brown. Olivia Grace Brown. Taylor McKenna Brown. Jack Bruce. Dylan Joseph Brucker. Marion K. Burbank. Blake Andrew Burchell. Eric Robert Bush. Ryan Anthony Keone. Leland Richard Calistri. Miguel Camacho. Ava Grace Kanalakis. William P. Carangelo. Caitlin Jade Cardiff. Talis Canero Passos. Ryan Anthony Carroll. Anthony John Calistano. Brianna Eileen Castro. Lionel Giovanni Castro, in absentia. Aiden Joseph Catania. Carly Victoria Sensi. Connor Michael Chase. Jack Lawrence Chase. Aaron James Chin. Jinhyuk Choi. Adriana Serenza. Carolyn Fillinger Coney. Benjamin Alzadon Cole. Derek Reese Coleman. Megan Doyle Concilio. Sophia Elise Cooksey. Alexandra Grace Core. Julia Lyles Fairbanks Cotter. Samuel Coughlin. Shay Downing Coughlin. Martha Mary Covo. Charlie Borden Coyne. Grayson Maxwell Crockett. Elmer Joel Cruz. Juliana K. Cruz. Daisy Virginia Markey Crystal. John Francis Reginald D'Agostino. Connor Justin Davis. Anna Louise Dawson. Logan Robert DeCitas. Charlotte Eden Deshoe. Hannah Elizabeth Delp. Madeline G. Denishow. Sarah Mackenzie Dennison. Colby Jacob DePron. Maya Don Duraco. Luke Conrad Durr. Aidan Francis DeWitt, in absentia. Gabriela Janae Diaz. Max Anthony DeCerbo. Harper Allen Dick. Catherine E.R. Dieppe. Henry Brian Epstein DeGennaro. Justin Philip DeSanto. Elizabeth Dokina. William Scott Dondero. Cameron P. Doolin. Samuel Sumner Dowds. Sarah Elizabeth Downey. Kenneth Timothy Driscoll. John Arthur Dudas. Sydney Grace Duncan. Charlotte Rose Dursey. Elvin Hale Edmonds IV. Jonathan Alexander Elliott. Donald William Engelhart. Grace Gillinder English. Eliana Bloom Estes. Ainsley Elizabeth Evans. Taj Jordan Facey. John Shuttleworth Fahey. Sierra Grace Patterson Farrell. Benjamin John Faxon. Juliana Irene Fedorko. Ann Austin Fenwick. Nicole Fernandez. Marina K. Farrow. Justin Tyler Fisher. Lindsay Nicole Fogelsanger. Tessa Benson Foley. Olivia Grace Folensby. Kyle Mason Fontez. Zoe Elizabeth Foss. Brandon Joseph Faust. Kayla Marie Freibot. Tallulah Christina Fuse. Noelle Marie Fullman. Madeline Ann Gallivan. Bridget Powers Gardella. Sarah Campbell Gaynor. Luke Daniel Galetta. Susanna Elizabeth Gerhardt. Chase William Girash. Shannon Nancy Gilfillan. Fair Avery Gillette. John Morris Glassman. Evan Andrew Goldstein. Ethan Patrick Gordon Grady. Henry Bella Graff. Sochi Francesca Granados. Kurt Charles Gray. In absentia, Jack Andrew Green. Ella Rose Grency. Hayden Burgett Groves. Hannah Nicole Guarente. Robert Paul Guds. Ari Benjamin Gutstein. Jacob Robert Guy. Suzanne Elizabeth Hannigan. Michael Khalil Hardaway. Morgan Angeliki Harros. Elizabeth Grace Harrison. Andrew James Hasfall. Sophie Bartlett Havens. Kirsten Karen Heduchuk. Abigail Page Haza. William Danielle Hedges Jr. Maya Hernandez. Santiago Hernandez Rodriguez. Abigail Hick. Cameron Montgomery Hill. Gina K. Hinthorn. Andrew Clark Holm. Elena Michelle Horn. Luna Copeland Horsley. Virginia Grace Hostetter. Fryn Frederique Hublitz. Morgan Taylor Huddy. Ariana Lynn Hutko. Alice Ina Jackins. Nina Jackson. Michael James Jacobus. Tohid Ahmad Jahangir. Isabella Grace Gibran. Claire Elizabeth Jenkins. Mason Dale Jones. Savannah Grace Jones. Nakash Ashe Calais. Risa Eve Kanefsky. Vladimir Sylvester Herman Katrip. Charles M. Keating. Natalie Halliday Keenan. Emma Lane Keller. Samantha Grace Kellish. Anthony David Kelly II. William Thomas Kender. Aaron Eileen Kenny. Lars Donaldson Kokoski. Riley Malia King. Jacob John Klavansky. Margaret Jane Klein. Kevin Joseph Klukowitz. Luke John Kanar. Mary McMillan Kaler. Alexandra Catherine Cole. Elizabeth Jessica Korn. Sophie Brooke Kowitz. Dora Hamilton Kreitzer. Akitoshi Kuramochi. Sawera Jaja. Ariana Yvette Leboy. Anna Lejos. Jane Morgan Lands. Samuel Paul Lasher. Catherine Ann Lawler. A.J. Lawrence. Grant Derby Laws. Alma Eisenby Ledwidge. Tristram Horberg Lehner. Alberto Max Levi. Camille Morgan Levy. Edward Spencer Lewis. Madison Lynn Libby. Caitlin Elizabeth Light. John Hartford Lenartz. Isabella Christine Lipolis. Enos Liu. Heijie Liu. In absentia. Tyler Douglas Locke. In absentia. Noah William Long. Alec Marino Lorza. Kendall Rose Lukey. Yiwen Liu. In absentia. Robert Gansler Lineman. Sarah Isabel Ma. Madeline Lundy McKay. John Kenneth Mandaloni. Kimberly Lynn Magnata. Amalia Manio Manhoff. Andrew Ty Marina. Samantha E. Marinelio. Ashley Page Marmer. Harry Cecil Marson VI. Henry Nathaniel Martin. Sophia Morgan Martinez. Alexander Scott Marks. Valoria Grace Maslin. Max Ryba Maddy. Andrew John Mazza. Taylor Kim McLean. Charlotte Bryce McClanahan. James Patrick McCullough. Philip Frederick McDowell. Elizabeth May McClellan. Don Hamlin McLucas IV. Julia Ray McNamara. Alexis Nicole McNeil. Connor Di McNichols. In absentia. Richard Craig Meister. Bryce Edward Mary. Lindsay Beth Mail. In absentia. Alyssa Jacqueline Monero. Lauren Nicole Mirando. Margaret Merkovich. Kaylee Shea Masutka. Amanda Melanie Mitchell. Caroline Wessel Mitchell. Hassan Emre Magolte. Anisha Savur Moran. Julia Paris Morrissey. Ian Sebastian Mota Price. Caroline McCarran Maury. Kamoni Danae Mullins Warren. Gwyneth Hope Murphy. In absentia. Bridget Donahue Naduk. In Kamani Danae Mullins Warren. Gwyneth Hope Murphy. Bridget Donahue Naduk. Miranda Ariel Naisner. PJ Newhart. Kaylee Nguyen. Kelvin Tran Nguyen. Jake Bryce Nickel. Shihab Kabir Nihan. Max Nolan. Lily Elizabeth Noonan. Samantha Roma Novak. Emily Rose O'Connell. Matthew Joseph O'Connor. William Michael Oler. Spencer Lawrence Ojeda. Annabelle Marie O'Sullivan. Marcus Justin Owens. Sophia Renz Patterson. Hannah Rose Paul. Abigail Lynn Polnock. Isabella Maria Pavlidis. Brenna Alexandra Paxton. Cooper Bonner Pierce. Andrew Thomas Peterson. Daniela Astrid Perdomo Chavez. Jacob Brian Perry. Kelly Elizabeth Peterson. Giancarlo Picardo. Evelyn Rose Pierce. Cassidy Emma Pingree. Alexander Alexandrovich Pisarchik Shektav. Annabelle Pace Plant. Sarah Victoria Policano. Sarah McKay Porter. William Benjamin Prasuti. Adeline Ellis Priest. Nicholas William Prime. Olivia Maya Pori. Kenneth Bryant Quinn. Lily Ash Quinn. Brinda Nithya Rabindra. Gwen Anna Radicki. Isabella Therese Radican. Leah Eve Racklin. Carter McAuliffe Raleigh. Brielle Josephine Ramundo. Natasha Julia Plantanova Rawls. Sophia Lily Reich. John McGreevy Renegan. Amina Jacqueline Reyes. Julia Ann Reynolds. Tallulah May Rice. James Patrick Reedinger. Emma Jane Riley. Mario Giovanni Rinaldi. Emily Caitlin Rivera. Georgie Alexandra Roach. Madison Avery Rodriguez. Victoria Romero. Isabel Claudia Rodinelli. Anthony John Rotelli. Mia Satora Rothstein. Amelia Chenevi Rook. Ralph W. Rucker IV. Michael Jack Rudnick. Gianna Rose Regario. Sophia Ellen Sabino. Rachel Holly Saltman. Maria Corazon Sanderson. Sarah Marie Sanfield. Grace Marie Santanen. Benjamin John Santos. Rex James Sapienza. Gavin C. Saponzis. Kaylee McCary Shabet, in absentia. Hannah Elizabeth Schilling. John Schlendorf. Charles Jonathan Schmidt. Stephen Conrad Schalzen. Olivia Simone Schroeder Pastiano. Abigail Elizabeth Seaman. Caitlin Marie Segretti. Maria Gabrielle Segura Suarez. Isabella Segura Suarez. Christy Samanchik. Sonia Soto Sargent. Catherine Lynn Sharp. Grayson Beatrice Shaw. Philippa Jennings Sheffield. Songyi Shen. Anthony Jude Sherwin. Jody Danielle in absentia. Aunt Jody Danielle Siegel. James Reed Signer. Skylar Claire Silverstein. Christopher George Roger Sims. Hannah Grace Sims. Sullivan Rose Sims. Cameron Michael Sins. Alex David Smith Jr. Caleb John Smith. Jocelyn Rose Snow. Doug Sommers. Colin Jacob Sewell. Angelique Zeta Sosani Tumasi. Holland Elizabeth Spain. Ryan Stephen Spallone. Nolan Joseph Springer. Christian Richard Spagnardi. Casey Napoleon Stevenson. Catherine Grace Styro. Noah Harrison Strauss. Piper Stroutman. Lauren Rose Sudol. Adam Sujak. Aiden Ashley Sullivan. Charlotte Cook Sullivan. Hollis Averill Summers. Skylar Lucianne Sunderhoff. Tess Victoria Sutter. Nina Ann Sylvester. Scott Thomas Takis. George Thomas Tallarico. Connor Alex Taylor. Mason Donovan Taylor. Maya Madeline Thompson Morello. Sopiak T. in absentia. Janaya Gabrielle Treadwell. Kelly Lynn Troop. Ariel Elise Ulrich. Tucker Donahue Vallis. Matthew Peter Van Bloom. Eleni Vaslades. Thomas Edward Vitolo. Lucy Brannon Wadsworth. Blythe Annalise Wallach. Lillian Elizabeth Walsh. Riley Walsh. Barbara Corto Wancoli. Elizabeth Kendall Ward. John A.F. Warren II. Mercer Gerard Washington Dickerson. Eric James Weatherly, in absentia. Eli Shelby Jarman Webb. Morgan Elizabeth Weber. Chloe Frances Wendell. Kelsey Ray Werkheiser. Callista Demetra Weathern. Thomas L. White. Nicholas Scott Webke. Hannah Catherine Wheatsky. Beth Williams. Emily Kate Williamson. Branson Samuel Wilson. Katrina Bay Wilson. Rhiannon Aislinn Weimer. Anna Marie Wingard. Ella Murray Wolf. Grace Campbell Woodhouse. Theodore Rawson Wright. Michelle Wu. Yunki Wu. Caroline Porel Weigel. Yuki Yao. Jai Yin. Mary Angelica Young. Tatum K. Young. Cole Hayes Zabriskie. Kendall Grace Zinn. Vicky Zarmakoupas. For the degree Bachelor of Science, Sienna Rose Abercrombie. Victoria Mariana Abramczyk. Oscar Robert Adams. Ashley Alexandra Albert. Sincerity Dacia Alexander. Laura Karina Ankuta. Marina Anglo. Catherine Julia Balakian. Tess Yvonne Rosselette Balsley. Juan Fernando Barrera. Vishnupriya Bachu. Molly Wright Batista. Andrea Curry Bernaccia. Ama Buama Apia. Rachel Nicole Boardman. Benjamin Joseph Bonafide. Luke Tyler Brainshuff. Charlotte D. Brower. Reese Lynn Burns. Benzel Kirby Cadet. Julia Victoria Calderon. Evan Anthony Carrick. Zoe Catherine Carlson Petrazik. Clara Fung Yi Carroll. Rebecca Grace Caruso. Megan Page Catherwood. Clara Rudolph Chaplin. Sarah Elizabeth Chapman. William Che Choi. Michael Churikoff. Connor William Coles. Emily Nicole Cook. Luke William Corday. Logan D. Davis. Alexander Davtinen, in absentia. Teresa Dida. Om Deshmukh. Yamil Fernando Diaz Peña. Myers Jeffrey Dixon. Andrew Thomas Dorsal. Marion Emily Duval. Natalie M. Dyer. Jack Kevin Jubeck. Dara Noel Estes. Christopher R. Fewdale. Aidan B. Finkler. Erin Elizabeth Fitch. Vivian Shea Forthman. Kelly V. Francis. Grace Margaret Ginder. Jade T. Gregg. Max Kane Harar. Catherine Anise Hazard. Caitlin Grace Henry. Mackenzie Page Hilling. Emily Grace Holmes. Emily Jo Jesk. James Evelina Jones. Nicole Ann Joseph. Tia N. Keene. Danielle Letterman Cloner. Audra Mary Kobus. Viveka Karup. Sabrina Monique Laprie Chavez. Edward Deppin Lee. Javono Lee. Jessica Marie Linine. Alyssa Victoria Lisanti. Catherine Hannah Lowe. Molly Rose Malaby. Sarah Pierce Maldonado. Lucas Benjamin Mason. Mitchell Joseph Moriello. In absentia. Grayson Adam McClellan. Gregory Dean McMullen. Tina Tushar Mehta. Gabriella Elizabeth Mishler. Omid Mohammed Mahdi. Olivia Watson Mooney. Gavin Michael Moore. Botai Moloko Matawa. Abigail Jean Motter. Trevor James Neff. Lily Jessica Nielsen. Tao I Nguyen. Daniel Bennett Nolan. Caitlin Jean O'Connor. Oluwasa Funmi Daniela Oluwafemi. Lucas Salvador Papaleo. Anushka Garish Parib. Lucy Park. Anne Catherine Parsons. Michael Scott Perro. Elizabeth Cooley Phelps. Julie Claire Pincaroli. Maria Carolina Pichota. Juan Carlos Pampa Sanchez in absentia. Sarah C. Preston. Patrick Joseph Quinlivan in absentia. Kira Marie Reinhardt. Eric W. Reinhardt. Alexandra Jordan Rivera. Jaceli Anna Delia Rivera. Mia Beatrice Rubman. Maria Gail Ruccolo. Alec Sanders. Jillian Marie Shadonegal. Hannah Dorothy Scott. Brian Joseph Scotto. Maya C. Shum. Mason Zachary Sibenhar. Sophie Ann Elizabeth Smith. Luke Allen Snyder. Peter Francis Sorensen. Olivia Gale Stein. Ethan Michael Steinberg. Samuel Joseph Stoller. Brady William Swenson. David John Venuti. Sienna Anna Vestry. Gabrielle Leon Wallerstein King. Madeline Jean Whitsitt. Harmony H. Young. Mackenzie Rose Zerby. Hannah Jo Zyra. For the degree Bachelor of Science in Education, Elliot Ann Colella. Sarah Claire Culkin. Alexandra Maria Fedchenko. Hannah Jung. Emma Catherine McClary. Caroline Kelly O'Connor. Kyla Lanny Pham. Paige Olivia Temple. For the degree Bachelor of Music, Rebecca Michelle Lipsky.
Keep it down.
President Brovman, it is my honor to present the 164 candidates for the bachelor's degrees from the College of Engineering. Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Engineering, David Paul Bedetti. Tyler Jeffrey Burrows. Juliana Grace Devlin Capizzi. Nora Louise Crowley. Michael Andrew Danon. Hope Ella Davis. Olivia Louise DeKoning. Timothy James Dillon. Lindsay Rose Garr. Kimberly Grace Hergenhan. Theodore J. Lubash. Naomi Simone Malone. George T. Nikolopoulos. Somtochi Masoma Ojiaku. Elizabeth Louise Okenak. Enzo Allen Ottaviani. Anna Danielle Posh. Mary Julia Robinson. Karina J. Squilanti. Keeler Patrick Thomas. Tamarat Tomlinson. Min Thuy Tran. Sophia Faith Walker. Lauren Nicole Wenzel. Matthew Eli Zilberman. Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Engineering and Bachelor of Management, Jake Thomas Douglas. Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering, Colby Raymond Belchick. Madison Abigail Davis. Owen Robert Davis. An Dongquin Lee. Viola Jia Lin. Trevor Joseph Nugent. Casey Christina Piper. Carly Marissa Wren. Brandon M. Roman. Cole Tiley Stevanowski. Ian McClellan Straits. Eliza Quinn Thur. Caitlin Elizabeth Tregesser. Nya Vu. Charles Michael White. Derek Franquette Yingling. Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering and Bachelor of Management, Ian Cornell Kinian. Kayla Francisco Yee. Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, Peter Robert Bezos. Caitlin Seed Buseri. Christian John Cardinale. Tino August Sione IV. Chase Matthew Dirk. Sydney Finkler. Patrick Robert Frankowitz Jr. Nora Dean Frederick. Sierra Lee Crick. Matthew Austin Miller. Nicholas James Mulvey. Lauren Mackenzie Nee. Iona McBeath Pitkin. Serena Imani Port. Howard Clay Story IV. Frederick O. Sturgis. Tara Rose Thomas. Alex Lamar Yoder. Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering and Bachelor of Management, Brianna Rose DeLucia. Jessica Ann Lichardone. Curtis Michael Phipps. Frances Lynette Tenike. Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering, Joseph William Docks. Kevin D. Duong. Timothy Julian Freeman. Isaac Hunter Gaiman. Jason G. Hackett. Madeline Grace Kalajian. John Michael Klopsick. Aaron Anthony Maldonado. Margaret Mary McLaughlin. Clea Joy Ramos. Reagan Alexander Russell in absentia. Bachelor of Science, Computer Science and Engineering, Kate Elizabeth Douglas. Charlton Pratt Airbar. Claire Elizabeth Engel. Kona Grace Glenn. Harrison Rossi Halesworth. Joseph Abraham Helm. Alexa Paige Horvath. Dominic Vincent Maceo in absentia. Shane Michael Melanowski. Sugunobu Mayaki. Jacob Tyler Piscadlo. Gordon Asher Rose. Nolan Lee Sowers. Reva Sharma. Aya Terrest. Sarah Christina Thomas in absentia. John C. Yoisel. Alejandro Aiden Vargas Altamirano. Ronald Miller Wild Jr. Veer Yadav. Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Engineering and Bachelor of Management, Samuel Thomas Vickers. Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering, Axel Eric Andrews. Parker Sam Ashnault. Brendan Finnegan Bagansky. John J. Bailey. Peter Thomas Bodette III. Aiden Joseph Flynn. Benjamin Hale Mud Friedenberg. Taya Zhang. Carrie Elizabeth Piper. James Edward Powick. Angelo Vincent Regas. Jihi Ren. Nathaniel Henry Samuels. David Ted Yoon. Andrew Hao Zheng. Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering and Bachelor of Management, Colton Michael Jorley. Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering, Jackson Thomas Becker. Tyler Marlon Dunn. Grant Kincaid Ellis. Filaretti Maria Karamitros. Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering and Bachelor of Arts, Mia Olson Ranello. Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Matthew Vincent Alexander. Luca Arvanitis, in absentia. Kendall James Byler. Hunter Matthew Beward. Nicholas James Boo. Amelia Louise Boyd. Caden Mark Covell. Hugh Joseph Cronin. Tosh Bloom Chikosh. Joshua Reynolds Dewey. Edward Charles Douglas. Trevor Dean Drescher. Brian Rojas de Sousa. Connor James Fratantero. Ben Yongchang Hong. Bradley David Jameson. Matthew James Johnston. Andrew Brady Joseph. James Joseph Joyce. Sean Thomas Keys, in absentia. Tristan Kachatorian. Hannah Jiyoung Kim. Miles George Klein. Brady M. Lawler. Joseph James Lombardi. Quinn Patrick McCutcheon. Mark Ryan Mosier. Brendan Kane Neer. Olowatobi Olaliki Odasote. Ricardo Javier Osornio. Alexander Grayson Padilla. Paul James Pepper. Alejandro Plata. Garrett Thomas Regan. Lauren Josette Rolla. Matthew Wade Reichman in absentia. Taya Alejandra Salvatore. Lauren Elizabeth Schmidt. Jacob Joseph Severnak. Hanlin She. Nicholas John Shopis. Ryan Graham Smith. Lauren Miller Trapani. Zhihai Wu. And Angela Nicole Zaganshina.
President Brovman, it is my distinct pleasure to present to you 183 candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Alexia Marie Alsante. Lisandro Jose Alvarado. Jean Sophia On. Nicholas Peter Arbs. Jabir Emmanuel Augustin. Evan William Acock. Julia E. Backenstrass. Jacob J. Bainbridge. Matthew James Balkan. Thomas Sorrell Barbera. Colin Harkness Barnes. Shane Robert Bell. Edward Matthew Bennett. Hallie Beacon Best. Ryan C. Blatney. Kendall Emily Blunden. Alice Lillian Boyce. Jonathan Paul Brady. Tyler Michael Brooks. Julia Hope Bruno. Morgan Elizabeth Bullis. Caroline Mora Burke. Jillian Rose Kemperlango. Kyle Patrick Carney. Christopher Carnival Jr. Kira Alexis Carpenter. Shauna Michelle Casey. Ralph Eddie Cesar. Maria Justina Chipilli. Antonio D. Coghill Jr. Lucia Cole de Saint Simon. Mason Alexander Conto. Caroline Ross Corcoran. Bevan Grace Cranley. Tide Danae Cruz Harris. Robert Emmett Cullen III. William Ryan Davis II. Ella Louise Durstein. Sarah Rose Dolphin. Nathaniel Carey Dunn. Kathleen M. Ellis. Reese Peyton Evans. Anne Elizabeth Farr. Cameron Ryan Fay. William Bradley Fisher. Paloma J. Flores Montero. Mary Claire Judy Flynn. Regina Guadalupe Frias. Massimo Faduli. Stanley Guy. Matthew Christopher Gallagher. Ryan King Gallagher. Daniela Luciana Ganjami. Julia Maris Gard. Leanne X. Garahan. Grace Charlotte Garvey. Dylan Theodore Gauss. May E. Genovese. Virginia Sky Gilbert. Riley Elizabeth Giles. Shay Thomas Gillern. Carter McHenry Golterman. Michelle Gonzalez. Lauren Catherine Grandin. Miles Duncan Guthrie. Alexandra Elizabeth Hall. Jack Thomas Harcourt. Jordan Elizabeth Hardy. Matthew James Howell. Kayla Marie Howie. James Edward Hudson. David Philip Ionita. Jasmine Elizabeth Jones. Brady Michael Karp. Amanda Coleman Kaler. Colleen Rose Kazanjian. Alina Lillian Kelly. Grace Hyun Kim. Isabella Michelle King. Whitney Leone King. Flynn Patrick Kinney. Trevor Justin Koch. Christopher Michael Kopak. Jared Andrew Kordonsky. Jack Hinton Krosulak. Vivian Kwan. Max W. Lagunoff. Aiden Michael Lawler. Olivia Kate Lawler. Matthew William Lepre. Wilson Lee. Kylie Elizabeth Liggett. Mary Margaret Livinggood. Laura Lopez Garcia. Courtney Allison Lopp. Brendan Michael Lynn. Catherine Marie Mackey. Nicholas Emilio Maggie. Benjamin Thomas McGovern. Grant Jet Malice. Thomas Vincent Mandris. Caroline Olivia Marcus. Caroline Wendy Mark. Daniela Martinez Paz. Linus Strawbridge Marr. Daniel J. McCarthy. Battle Cole McFadden. Matthew Henry McFadden. Rowan C. McGuinn. Mackenzie Rose McHugh. Mara Lindsay D'Alessandro McEnroy. Aiden James McKenna. Kate Elizabeth Mercer. Haley Marie Miller. Allison Lorena Mulvaney. Rafael Alexander Munez. Zoha Nadir. Paul Alexander Neal. Alessandra Y. Neal, in absentia. Lynn Ha Nguyen. Nicholas Carol Naminsky. Quentin Nsamba Yiga. Tyler Matthew O'Neill. Manuel Vincent Panariello. Isabella Caroline Panozzo. Edward Park. Nicholas Anthony Paracelli. Nathan James Petrizak. Paul Andreas Filiu. Ruti Pires. Hayden Robert Puff. Dirk Michael Paleo, in absentia. Nora Elizabeth Quinn. Beatrice Ann Rakowski. Owen Patrick Rigney. Jack Ryan Roberto. Sitlali Rodriguez. Allison Marie Romani. Cade Michael Rooney. Madison Lee Rookie. Ashley Lynn Rowan. Jessica Ann Ryan. Haley Elizabeth Sanders. Catherine Claire Scanlon. Lena Kate Shiano. Haley Gretchen Schmidt. Frederick Lucas Selig. Henry Nichols Simons. Jennifer Lee Sivak. Annabelle McLean Smith. Edward Andrew Smith. Harrison Sinjin Sotir. Mia Grace Spadafino. Peter Joseph Spallone. Ryan Bernard Stanley. Molly Jean Sterling. Ava Alyssa Stone. Spencer Roland Stouffer III. Braden Finn Stryker. Case Van Duzen Sylvester. Ava Catherine Thompson. Megan Catherine Tran. Charles Nicholas Trandafilo. Chloe Diana Troy. Ellie Jordan Urenko. Luke Cosmo Valentino. Franz M. Van Connell, in absentia. Luong Tron Wu. Anish Parikjit Vias. Brooke Lily Wallace. John Francis Wallace IV. Vienne Evangeline Warfel. Charles McCall Watson. Alexandra Marie Weeks. Lola Burns Wilhite. Brendan Wells Williams. Nicole Rose Wilson. Zachary Warren Yardley. Samantha Meredith Yaw. Jack Alfie Miller Young. Seneker William Zelov, in absentia. Zane Braxton Zalaki. Joran Joseph Gowan.
President Brovman, I present the following candidates for the Master of Arts degree. Nicole Chansey. Riley Michelle Roberts. Master of Science degree, Derek Adu. Aiko Amano, in absentia. Sweta Arial. Isaac Kojo Buabang, in absentia. Benjamin Taylor Clegg, in absentia. Andrea Marie Coleman. Jordan Michael Polver, in absentia. Anna Prohofsky, in absentia. Yuthika Raj. Edith Simpson, in absentia. And now, the Master of Science degrees in Chemical Engineering, Sharif Laikan Anerfi. Stephen J. Schmidt, in absentia. And now, the candidates for Master of Science in Electrical Engineering, Benjamin Lee Buentello. Malia Azimi Rouhani. Master of Science in Environmental Engineering, Leanne Makel. Candidates for the Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Matthew Mark Hockenbrock. Abdullah Ikram Nabi. Bryce Henry Reimer. Jan Schmid.
Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2025. And now I'm pleased to introduce Ms. Gabrielle Diaz, a member of the class of 2025, who will deliver the class response.
Bienvenidos and a warm welcome to my fellow classmates, faculty, staff, alumni, and families to our 2025 commencement ceremony. As we sit minutes before entering a new chapter of our lives, I'm sure many of us are eager for what comes next. But amidst this desire to quickly chase after our dreams, I will ask you all to pause, to breathe, and to revel in this very moment. Even in the ruralness of Bucknell, we've gotten to experience the world, exploring different perspectives in our classes, learning about the lived experiences of our classmates, and traveling across the globe to countries like France, Japan, Ghana, Puerto Rico, and Antigua. It was actually only a few weeks ago on a study abroad trip to Cuba where someone whom I consider to be one of my greatest mentors on campus said something that made me think. You may know him as Marcus, Mr. Scales, the Multicultural Student Services Director, or your 6 a.m. spin coach. On the last night, as our group huddled for dinner, he turned to me and told me, "I'm gonna miss you, kid. Remember to enjoy the flowers while they still smell." It was a simple reminder, yet it was something that I had lost sight of. Flowers aren't meant to last. They call us to stop and savor now. It brought to mind the times I've heard Ray Becknell shouted across the grocery store, in the bustling streets of Los Angeles, California, or at art galleries in Amsterdam, or the times where I'm home visiting the cherry blossoms in Washington, D.C., and am transported to the days spent sitting under the cherry blossoms on the quad. These encounters pull us out of the chaos of our lives, reminding us that meaning often blooms in the smallest details, if only we stop long enough to notice. We've learned to invest in these pockets all across campus, taking time out of our busy lives to slow down and immerse ourselves in the vibrant communities that surround us. Like hearing our friends play in their bands for the very first time, Jelly Sandwich, The Priorities, Clara and the Chi Five. Or maybe it was competing in canoe battleship with your friends, thinking, "We up!" only to be sunk down by Brent Papson's children. My team won this year. Or maybe it was even watching the Bison Girls and Bisonettes perform at halftime shows, or the Bisonettes performing at the beautiful Lacos, Baxa, Sasa, GSC, Asian, and BSU cultural galas. In fact, in our effort to make the most of this present, we have sparked and borne witness to some of the most transformative cultural and social movements of our time. As residential advisors, we were some of the first to unionize at Bucknell University. As Speak Up peers, we fought against patriarchal and violent systems of oppression. As concerned youth, we walked in solidarity with Palestinians. In fact, some of us have been some of the first in our families to achieve what some imagined was unachievable. Through our classes, our internships, on-campus research, we've interrogated what we thought we knew and challenged the status quo. Our faculty and staff pushing us to look around, envision new horizons, to repair what is broken in the world we live in. In our rush to accomplish more, I ask you to pause for one more breath and recognize the privilege that it is to be counted as one of Bucknell's graduates. As an education major and a human being, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge or recognize the systemic destruction of education across the world, especially in the Gaza Strip. And yet it is a call to responsibility in a world that requires us to make conscious decisions, invest in communities, and raise our voices about who we are and who we are meant to become. Let ourselves be a reflection not of the world as it is, but as it could and should be. When we deliberately and systematically slow down in a world that is desperate to keep us sprinting, we engage in a kind of gentle rebellion. We realize that college was not just about our academic achievements, but how we've used the skills we've acquired to live in everyday ordinariness and turn it into something extraordinary. Learning to live by the depths of our joy, the truth of our experiences, and the hope we pour into our communities and ourselves. And in this moment of reflection, we cannot forget the people who have supported us through this journey, who have taught us to value the strength of collectivity, supporting, uplifting, believing in us, even when we doubted ourselves. I'm gonna say the next part in Spanish, but y'all will get the gist. A mi familia, quiero decirles gracias por todos sus sacrificios, su apoyo, su amor. As my dear friend Laura said at our posse grad yesterday, este diploma no es solo mío, sino de todos nosotros. And so, to the class of 2025, congratulations. You have created something special here. And as we step into the next chapter, let us recognize that we are capable of transformative change. Let us continue to embrace this present, find the magic in the ordinary, and carry with us the heart and spirit Bucknell has given us. Thank you.
Graduates of Bucknell University, on behalf of everyone here and all of the guests who are also here today, I offer my warmest congratulations. Today, you leave our campus as accomplished and confident new alumni. We could not be prouder. But please remember, this is not goodbye. You will always have a home at Bucknell University, and I hope you will return often. And now, to conclude our ceremony, I ask everyone who is able to rise and join in singing the alma mater.
Dear Bucknell, often thee we're thinking, and memories fond come trooping by. The tireless stars may cease their blinking, but thoughts of thee shall never die. And though the years still swiftly